Good morning. It's time for a high five, and let's talk about what today is on the Hebrew calendar. Today is Holocaust Remembrance Day. In Hebrew, it's called Yom HaShoah. Yom means day, Ha is the, and Shoah, Shoah, means a catastrophe or a whirlwind. It really, the root of it is a whirlwind. This is remembering the 6 million that died in the Holocaust with World War II. You know, we've got to remember history. We have to teach history because what's happening in our colleges and schools is they're starting to teach them that the Holocaust never happened, and we can't forget this. We've got to remember the 6 million that died. We cannot forget. And one thing that General Eisenhower did is he made sure that when they liberated the camps, that they took pictures, that nobody would be able to say that it did not happen. And so one thing they do, and this bag I got from Holocaust Remembrance Day, it contains, this is what they would have to wear, this star, and it would say Jude to remember the 6 million. And then they'll light a candle in remembrance. Now over in Israel, this started yesterday. It started on the 20th at sundown, and they had a beautiful ceremony, but everything in Israel was online. It was all technical because the 189,500 survivors that are living in Israel right now, 189,500 Jewish Holocaust survivors could not leave their homes. In Tel Aviv, there were 10,500, and the young people, the youth, delivered flowers to all of their doors, and so they would say that we're not going to forget. That's a wonderful thing for the youth to do, is say we are not going to forget, because one thing the Holocaust is, this day is to teach our children, don't ever let that happen again. Now there's a wonderful ceremony online that was from Israel on Holocaust Remembrance Day, and the President Rivlin, one of the comments that he made is, we remember, we will continue to remember, for the sake of our own sake, and for the future generations, we will not forget. And so this is one thing that they do. At 11 o'clock, now they're 9 hours difference from us, so they're ahead of us, so it's already 11 o'clock is already over. But 11 o'clock, a siren blasts throughout Israel, and as soon as they hear that siren, they get out of, if they're driving, they stop their car right there. They get out of the car and they all stand and they bow their head and they remember and they pray, and it's total silence throughout Israel. I'm sure that the Palestinians don't observe it, but the Jewish people do. Everything stops. Now they can't have movie theaters, they can't have entertainment, things like that. Everything on television for that entire Holocaust Remembrance Day has something to do with the Holocaust. It has something to do with the persecution of the Jews during that time. And so they're teaching their children and their grandchildren, do not forget, do not forget. And I thought it was interesting that the Hezbollah has really been hit with the coronavirus, and Iran has been hit with the coronavirus, and so it's Israel is enjoying kind of a little pause in the threat from their enemies, and so it's just say a prayer for the Jews in Israel. Say prayers for, in the United States here we have Holocaust, the Holocaust Museum in Houston. There's one in I was to the one in Washington D.C. There's the Yad Rishad in Jerusalem. There's But the one in Galveston, if you're ever close to Galveston, I just invite you to go visit that museum. You will never be the same. Amen. God bless you and shalom. Bye-bye.